What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. It's the day after the night before, all the pain that Arsenal fans had to suffer last night, another defeat to Wolves. And it wasn't a bad performance from the players. It was kind of circumstantial why we lost this game. We know that the referee and VAR, I don't understand what VAR is doing in football at the moment. It was brought in to help referees out, and most of the time it just bottles the decision. I think sometimes with VAR, you've got to think that's the referee's mate sitting in the office, and I think sometimes he thinks, do you know what? I don't want to change the decision and make him look stupid, and I think that's what VAR did last night. The rules are in place. I don't actually blame Craig Pawson for last night, because when David Luiz does that, when that foul happens, I actually thought it was a red card and a foul when I saw it initially. So for the referee to run over a red card, I think that's kind of understandable. Where my problem is, when it goes to VAR and you get 5 replays of that, how then have they not said, look, ref, you know what? I've had a look at it and he hasn't even made an attempt to win the ball. Now, a lot of people have got different views on this David Luiz situation and whether it should have been a foul, a penalty, a yellow card, a red card. For me, it's a penalty, right? It is a penalty, but it's a yellow card. Now, even though he doesn't make any attempt to win the ball, you have denied him a clear goal-scoring opportunity, even though it's accidental. So in my opinion, it is a penalty. But red card, no chance. Not in the modern game, not with this double jeopardy rule that says if you make no attempt to get the ball or foul the player, then it should not be a red card. The penalty is, that is enough retribution for the team. And I think going in at 1-1 with 11 men on the pitch, we can still win that game yesterday. We were in control of that game in the first half. We were the better team. But we have this thing at Arsenal, we have this situation where, it's we seem to beat ourselves at times. Big up everyone in the comments. Big up Curtis. Corruption. Penalty for a dive. How is it a dive, bro? There is contact there. I'm not saying the contact is intentional, but let's not be silly and say there's no contact. If you're running at high speed and the back of your foot clips the front of someone's knee, there is every chance you can fall over. So let's not be silly and pretend there was no contact. There was contact. Henry said, I agree with you. It's a penalty, but never a red card. It was an accidental collision. 100%. That's where we are, bro. That's where we are. There was contact. It clipped the front of his knee. It's not intentional. So yeah, a penalty, but a yellow card. That's where it is. Everyone on ESPN saying it wasn't a red. Totally agree. Totally agree it's not a red. I feel sorry for defenders nowadays, because how can you defend in the modern game? You literally can't make... And it's becoming a non-contact sport. And because VAR, when it's slowed down, it looks 10 times worse. And it's almost impossible. On a plus note, this is still much better than playing badly like a few months ago. Yeah, we are playing better. But unfortunately, we're struggling to move up the table. That's the only difficult thing. The guy went down like he got shot. Bro, this is how the game is. I've actually been in football clubs where coaches have said, professional coaches in the game have said to me, if you feel contact in the penalty area, go down. No matter how minimal, contact, go down. You'll get a penalty. This is how the game is. People, when you see the modern game, this is what it is. My dude Curtis, big up. Definitely contact, a penalty, but feeling like they've sent him off due to his reputation. Big up, C. You make a good point there. I do think, and a lot of people were saying this, if Rob Holding did that, maybe they don't send him off. But because they saw David Luiz and just thought, oh, it's clumsy David Luiz, he always does this, just send him off. And that's what I think you make a good point there. Big C, do you think Luiz should have took him out before he got in the box and took the yellow? I mean, he may have still got a red, but it wouldn't have been a penalty. I mean, looking at it, he got caught out of position. I believe he came out to try and win the header. And then kind of left Willian Jose behind him. And you could see it was a foot race as soon as the guy plays the through ball. And Luiz wasn't getting there. Holding couldn't get across. And, I think he should have been in position, let's be honest. Holding had the chance to take him out. See, I actually think Rob Holding should have moved across and closed off the space for that pass and made it more difficult for him. Damon said, big up from Sydney as always, Curtis. Hope you're doing well in the UK. Woke up at 4 a.m. to watch that BS from referee and disgusted. It's horrible. It's horrible, bruv. If anything, it was Jose that made contact with Luiz, unintentional, like you said, but the red is disgraceful. I'm not convinced it was a pen. The thing is, if you're one-on-one with a goalkeeper, I'm just trying to think for myself as a player. If I was one-on-one with a goalkeeper, I'm not looking for a penalty. I want to score the one-on-one. So I think Jose, as soon as he felt the contact, he thought, you know what, I'm going down. I'm just gonna hit the floor and get the penalty. But you've given him that option. Unfortunately, David Luiz gave him that option. But the red card is embarrassing. It's an absolute nightmare for a defender nowadays. I don't understand how you're supposed to defend. Are we going to challenge the Luiz red? I think it did say that they will appeal it. And I think Arsenal will win that appeal. I really do. C said, smash the like button, people. Always top tier content. Thanks a lot. Give me a shout out. There's your shout out, man. There's your shout out. Big up. Red card was disgraceful by the ref. Yeah, it was shocking. I mean, everyone's blaming the ref, though. But I'm saying it was shocking. But I think the ref at the time, I thought it was a red. When I first saw it, my initial reaction was, he's fouled it. And he's one-on-one, his last man, it's a red. My problem is with VAR. I'm not actually really blaming the ref too much. The VAR should have taken that decision out of Craig Pawson's hands and said, listen, you've got it wrong. He's made no intention to tackle him. It is a penalty, but it's a yellow. So I think it was VAR. Jamie said there was minimal contact. Took me a while to see it from many different angles, but look closely, you can see the contact. He was last man back. Holding's fault. So red is fair, and I'm an Arsenal fan. It's crazy how people have different opinions, but this is what I'm saying. Football, people always see things different. The red card was soft for Luiz, but there can be no excuse for Leno. Oh, mate, moment of madness. Let's regroup, focus on the next one. We can't change it. Bernd Leno is very lucky, right, that people are talking about the ref and VAR so much, because what he did is inexcusable. An experienced international goalkeeper who's been brilliant this year, and you come out and just slap the ball. Goalkeepers are taught, get your body behind a bouncing ball. Worst case scenario, maybe you can chest it, maybe you duck down a bit and head it. If it's low enough, you can volley it. The man is running next to the ball and has to slap the ball to keep it there. Like, what on earth was he doing? Terrible. I don't know, is Leno suspended for 3 games or is it 1 game? What are the rules on that? I haven't actually seen that. How long is Leno suspended for? Let me know if you know, people. Abhinav said Renarson used all his saves for the season. He actually played all right yesterday. Nearly got an assist as well. Big up Free Pepe said 1. 1's not the end of the world. All I'm saying is we need Matt Ryan fit and available for this game. I don't want Renarson against Jack Grealish. I don't want it. 1 game for suspension, decent. Obviously, David Luiz, I think, will get overturned anyway. But maybe David Luiz needs to come out of the team, I said this on the show yesterday, the day before, where we were talking about David Luiz and how I didn't really think he should get a new contract unless there was a massive pay cut involved and we used him as 4th or 5th choice. He shouldn't really be starting every week, but then he has played well the last few games. So at the same time, I get it. Levon said, Curtis, did you notice in the Man United game, the ref went to the screen to check many different angles, whereas with the Arsenal game, they don't send the ref to check the screen corruption. Totally agree. Again, VAR. You know, a manager, a referee should do everything he can not to send a player off. And it felt like Craig Pawson was, desperate to send him off. And also VAR didn't even say to him, go and have a look yourself. They actually agreed that it was red. That, for me, is even more worrying. Sire said, imagine Curtis has his own football team and football training centre. It will be awesome. Let's hope so, man. Varchester United, we know this already, bro. We know this. They always seem to get the rub of the green. Arsenal are the best team in the Premier League, in my opinion. Well, maybe in our fans' heads, we hope they are, but at the moment, unfortunately, we're not. David Luiz jogged back. That's why he was behind the ball. I think he was struggling in a foot race, man. I think the guy, Jose, he was on the wrong side. He was trying to recover. 9-0 Man U to Southampton. Bro, did that not just make the evening even more worse? I come straight off an Arsenal live stream where we've gone down to 9 men, and I watch Man United beat Southampton 9-0, and I'm just like, I don't think I like football very much at the moment. You know what I mean? I just don't like it, bro. Like, got Man United fans texting me, you lot got 9 men, they win 9-0. I was thinking, we don't need this. We got enough to deal with supporting Arsenal. It's crazy, man. When will we ever see Arsenal score 6, never mind 9? It's crazy, man. Big up Curtis Shaw, safe. Big up, bro. Southampton deserved that 1 goal. Wasn't offside. Yeah, Shea Adams. Arsenal should have beat Man U, and Man U won 9-0, my G. It's crazy. United game was pretty even, though. Cavani missed sitters as well. Reese said, I'm a United fan and don't think it was a red or a pen. Big up, Curtis. Thank you very much. We always appreciate the support. But listen, I think it was a pen. I got to be honest, but a yellow in my opinion. Curtis, Varchester is too much. Even when we had decisions against Sheffield United, we get some and don't get some. VAR haters, man. VAR haters. Same with the United game and Martial's penalty. It didn't affect the result, but come on, never red. That one was even worse. The defender actually moved out of the way. Martial was already falling over. It's crazy, man. Felix said, Curtis, it's never a red, but I give 60% blame to Luiz. Why try to go across the player? Just go straight. People were saying this. I just recorded the Talk is Cheap show, and Laurie was sort of saying he should have ran around the player rather than running, so close to him where he could make contact. It's difficult to say, man. I'm not sure. Smash the likes, people, and subscribe. We need more ex-professional players officiating the games. It will be better. I think it would help to have an ex-pro on the VAR panel. The only thing is, you need one that has very little affiliation to many clubs. Because, again, you don't know with some of these refs, man, they're fans. I saw a picture. Someone found a picture of Craig Pawson. Apparently, he's a big Chelsea fan, and he put up this picture of Chelsea saying London is blue, and yet this guy's a ref in the Prem. So it's not coincidental that these things are happening. It feels like Arsenal were rigged yesterday. Yesterday was very painful. Craig Pawson might just get a role as a villain in the next Batman movie. DW said, big up, C. Have you seen Bellerin's Twitter post on Pawson nudging the Wolves player? Bellerin don't normally get involved enough, but he seems vexed. Listen, I'm not getting overly carried away with that, man. The player big fists every player on the pitch after the game, including the ref. What didn't help was that, Matinho had that cheeky smile on his face, as if to say, thanks. But Hector Bellerin needs to look at his own defending and crossing of the ball for me before he starts throwing blame everywhere else. There will be too many biased views with ex-pros. That's the problem. Let's have a look. That was not a red card, and I'm a Man U fan, but at least we're not in a bad position like other teams. No offense, big up. Yeah, listen, enjoy it while you can. When you're up there, you have to. Jay said, Curtis, I don't get what Bednarek got a red card for wiping out a player for the Pena set. He literally never even touched him. Arsenal will be fired up for Saturday to take the Villa game. I mean, listen, that game against Villa now is huge. Because, listen, I think top four's out the window, but the team have to keep fighting. You look at the Premier League now, Arsenal down in 10th. I mean, look, Southampton and Leeds have got games in hand. They can go above us. Arsenal could be as low as 12th. if these two win their games in hand. Look, Aston Villa have got 3 games in hand on Arsenal. Everton, 3 games in hand. Tottenham have got 2. West Ham, Leicester, Liverpool all got 1. Man City have got 2 as well. When all these games even themselves out, at the moment we are 8 points off top 4. That's going to end up being 11, 12 points, I would imagine. It's going to be a big ask for me now. I think Arsenal listen, we've got to still try and win games in the Premier League, but our main focus now has got to be that Europa League, in my opinion. That is our only hope of getting back in the Champions League. I think Arsenal are still capable of maybe top 6, top 7. Top 4, I think, is going to be a stretch. Teams have got games in hand. We're not scoring enough goals. 27 goals scored in 22 games. It's not good enough. Leeds have played 2 games less than Arsenal. This is a team that was in the Championship last season. They've scored 8 goals more than Arsenal with 2 games in hand. That shows you where Arsenal's problem is, You look at teams like Chelsea, 35 as well, Tottenham, 34, Liverpool, 43, Man United, 46. Of course, that 9-0 helped them out massively. Teams are outscoring us by far as well. Even teams like West Ham, who don't really have prolific strikers, Antonio and stuff like that, even they've outscored us by 4 goals a game in hand. So, listen, it's goals 4 that is letting us down at the moment. And our discipline, I think they said this is the most red cards we've had in a Premier League season. There's definitely issues within the football club with this discipline. You are mathematically 12th. We're not 12th until we're 12th, I suppose, but it's definitely a worry. Kent says, Big C, in my opinion, Bellerin is our biggest liability. Just shocking. Crossing, defending, throw-ins. I agree. I think that guy is a complete liability. He seems to do a lot of talking, but doesn't perform often enough. And I seriously want to see this guy replaced in the summer. I want a new right back, and I want to see, if Arteta's still the manager, he needs to get ruthless with players like him and move him on. Football is better without VAR. We just haven't used it properly. We are so bad in this country. And I do think VAR is spoiling the Premier League at the moment. It does help with certain situations, but in general, it's not enjoyable. The Cowboy said, Hi, Curtis, I'm a goalie of 30 years experience. Leno has to judge the pace of the ball and direction before running out. The ball was coming to him into the box safely. Poor decision making. Listen, as I said, you get your body behind the ball. Worst case scenario, it hits you. You've got a chance. He's coming out next to the ball and having to swipe his arm to stop it from going past him. Shocking goalkeeping from Leno. At times like that, you do have to feel sorry for the manager. Neto was ripping Bellerin. He tore him apart yesterday. He really did. I take Max Aarons from Norwich. As I said, Max Aarons, Pereira at Leicester, maybe even Lamptey. Cole said football is better when you don't watch Arsenal. It's certainly a lot less stressful. That is for certain. What is the use of VAR when clowns are using it? They just don't seem to use it properly, and that is the worry. Let's get into the player ratings, people. It works. Let me know with each player what you think you would give that player, and let's try and find an agreement somewhere. Let's start with Bernd Leno. I'm going to give Bernd Leno a 0 because I think that's unforgivable. I would give Bernd Leno a 0. I think any chance we had in that game of getting a point disappeared when he did that. And I can't understand for the life of me why he did that. I'm giving him a 0. I think it's a disgraceful decision from him. And I can't understand it. That's the worst thing he's done since he's been at Arsenal for me. Bernd Leno, he had a decent game during the game, made a few good catches. But no, I'm giving him a 0. I've got nothing to say positive for Bernd Leno. He cost us, absolutely cost us. 0, -5. You're giving him a 1, -5, -10. It was a joke. -1. He cost us any chance. Man said Curtis Harsh TV, bro. You can't defend that. That's inexcusable. If you saw that happen in amateur football, you'd be furious. How can you let him off with that? -1 million. Oh, my days. Love you, Curtis. You are such a nice guy. Big up. Thank you very much. Leno, 0. Luiz must have got punched up by Arteta as well. So we're going. I'm giving him a 0. Hector Bellerin. Hector Bellerin. There was one point in the first half where we was on the attack. I think it was Saka gave him the ball, and he cut back onto his left foot, and he just kicked it out of the penalty area. He kicked it out of the penalty area, and I think it went to Semedo. And I thought, bruv, you've just crossed the ball away from the goal. Like, what are you doing? I don't understand what the guy is doing. Hakimi at right back, we were linked with him yesterday, and I would like that one to come true. Hector Bellerin, for me, he's getting a low rating. Leno agenda, come on. Leno's been one of our best players. I've bigged him up all season. That was shocking yesterday. Hector Bellerin, for me, gets a... What do I give Hector Bellerin? Maybe a 3? I thought defensively he got dealt with by Neto. His crossing was lackluster as usual. He didn't do a foul throw at least. I'm giving him a 3. I'm giving him a 3. I can't give him a high rating, man. He made Neto look incredible again. I watched Neto in a few other games and he's been quiet. He comes against Arsenal, he rips us apart. I don't think Bellerin got tight enough to him. I said most left wingers that play against Bellerin, they're going to get new contracts because every time they play against us, they rip us apart. Neto made Bellerin his own girl. He literally bullied him. He ripped him to shreds. I give Hector Bellerin a 3. I don't get why Troops gave Bellerin a 7. He said he played well. I don't see it. I thought he got dealt with by Neto. I thought his crossing was poor. And, I didn't think he was good enough. I think, ultimately, when their left winger was probably their best attacking player, your right back has not done his job. So I'm giving Hector Bellerin I'll give him a 3. I'll give him a 3. I thought he got ripped. Neto's bunny. Someone here we go. What's wrong with you? This was a good game. Everyone deserved better than a 6. No chance, my friend, no chance. But anyway, we'll agree to disagree. Rob Holding, I thought Rob Holding was solid. He won everything in the air. Could he have blocked off that passing lane from that ball into William Jose? Could he have blocked the space and got it? Maybe it's harsh. David Luiz was out of position. I thought Holding was decent. I see him win every header. I'm going to give him a 7. I agree. I think he was the best defender in our back four. And I think he deserves some credit. It was difficult for him. Do I give him a 7? In fact, I'm thinking 7. No, maybe a 6. Maybe a 6. 6 or 7. Am I going to be positive with him? He didn't do anything wrong. I'm going to give him a 7. Ultimately, we conceded 2 and we lost, but he was solid amongst a lot of mess around him. I'm still in two minds. I'm still thinking it could be a 6 because ultimately we've conceded 2. I'm going to give him a 6. I was thinking 7. I'm trying to be positive, but I'm going to give him a 6. We were still not great defensively. Curtis, please don't rate mediocrity. Holding not good enough. It's not easy to defend, and I think 7 means you had a very good game or a good game. I think he was okay. He was solid. I'll give him a 6. David Luiz. What do you give David Luiz? People are saying it's not his fault he got sent off, but ultimately that sending off cost us the game. So 5 max for Holding, 6 is fair. I think 6 was all right. He did get sent to the shop once badly as well. That William Jose cut inside. I seen Rob Holding doing roly-polies near the side of the pitch, so he gets away with a 6. David Luiz, I mean, what do we give him? David Luiz, I'm going to give him... He wasn't playing bad. That's the crazy thing, but the red cards cost us, and to me, it is still a penalty. But should be a yellow. You can't say a 6 didn't do anything wrong because ultimately, no, he got caught out of position. That's the bigger issue from a defensive point of view. He goes searching for the ball, 2 minutes added on into the second half, and leaves the striker behind him. Why not sit back, stay behind the ball, and let the midfield go and challenge. And that goal doesn't happen. So I can't give him a 6. A 6 to me is a solid display. I'm going to give David Luiz a 4. He was out of position. He went to go and win the header, left Willian Jose behind him, and then he was caught on the recovery. Why would you do that in the last second of the game? Let the midfield go and challenge for the ball. So the red card, all right, it's probably not a red, but your positioning ultimately led to that situation. So David Luiz gets a 4. I can't give him anything bigger than that. He left Rob Holding scrambling. 4 for Luiz. Why was the gap so big between him and Holding? Exactly. Doesn't need to do that. Doesn't need to do that. And I'll give him a 4. Let's go to Cedric Suarez. I thought in the first half he was pretty solid. In the second half, obviously with 10 men, it got turned into a bit of a running club. You know, I seen Adama Traore going old school, just knocking the ball past him from, you know, clean behind him and just running him. What would you give Cedric? I'm thinking 5 or 6. He did all right. Adama Traore done him a few times, you know, which he does a lot of people. He's that quick. I'll give Cedric a 5. I'll give Cedric a 5. I think he got dealt with a few times. It's not really his fault. I think the red card and the lack of shape, it led to him being isolated where he was one-on-one with Adama Traore. And I think that caused him to get done for pace quite a few times. I did think Pepe helped him out well. But Cedric, I will give a 5 because of the second half. I'm not really blaming him for it. I think obviously going down to 10 men, he couldn't get the same help defensively. Let me just read the super chats. Made in Brooklyn, thank you for your super chat. Said we conceded 2 goals, but only 1 after going down to 10 men, and no goals conceded while playing 15 minutes with 9 men. Our defensive effort was commendable. Yeah, definitely was commendable. People saying 5. Listen, I would like to 5 or 6 in it, 5 or 6, but I'm just going to say 5 because we lost the game, and that's it. Made in Brooklyn, thank you for the super chat. Again said, and the only goal we conceded with a numerical disadvantage was a wonder strike. I'm proud of how our guys defended. Listen, even though I've given the defenders reasonably low ratings, Luiz's is just because he got sent off. Rob Holding gets a steady 6, 7. You know, Hector Bellerin didn't really deal with Neto great. Cedric was decent. I just think in the second half, he got isolated against Adama Traore. And Traore can do that to anyone. He's got to be one of the quickest players in the league. Thank God Traore has no end product. I mean, yeah, his crossing in general wasn't great. He put 1 good ball in the second half, but he's so wasteful with his delivery. Cedric played all right, but got skinned by Traore. The red gave Traore mad confidence. I agree. So the 5 is no reflection on Cedric. It's more, you know, the fact that he didn't have the backup that he probably needed in the second half. Let's go into the midfield. Thomas Partey. I thought Thomas Partey first half was fantastic. That ball that he played to Saka, you know, the general. I heard BT Sport called him the general. I want 10%. I think they've copied me because I've been calling him the general for weeks. I thought Thomas Partey had a solid game. Of course, second half, the whole structure of the game, it got pulled apart. And it was difficult for him to impose himself on the game. We spent most of the second half defending. I would say in the first half, he was brilliant. He bossed the whole game. Second half, couldn't really get on the ball. So what do I give Partey? He's around a 7 or an 8. The second half stopped him being able to excel. But I thought he was quality again. It's probably a 7.5, really. But I think I'm going to be positive. I'll give him an 8. I'll give him an 8. It was difficult. You know, it was difficult. He's a brilliant player. And, you know, down to 10 men with no striker makes life very difficult for him. People saying 6. I'm just going to big him up for his consistency and his quality on the ball. Some people saying he was bad in the second half. It's probably a 7.5. It's probably a 7.5 because of the defeat. But he did play decent, I thought. Second half, he couldn't get on the ball. We'll give him a 7.5. Granit Xhaka. I thought Xhaka was okay next to Thomas Partey. I thought he was okay. Wasn't on the ball as much as Thomas Partey. I think Partey was a little bit better than Xhaka. They both got booked as well, but it was always difficult with that few players on the pitch. What would I give Granit Xhaka? I'm thinking, I don't know. Yeah, if I'm giving Thomas Partey 7.5, I think Xhaka's got to be maybe a 6 or 7, 6.5 around there. I'm not sure. I think a 6. I do think he was a level below Thomas Partey. Some people saying 8, some are 4, some are 6. Clearly, people aren't too. We're all kind of not too sure how well he played. Man like Jules just jumped on the live. Big up man like Curtis every time. I'll give Xhaka a 6. I thought he was okay without being spectacular. I don't think he was as good as Thomas Partey, who I give a 7, 7.5. So I give Xhaka a 6, 6.5. He's improved. He's built a good little partnership next to Thomas Partey. But I think ultimately, because we couldn't do a lot in the second half, it's hard to put their rating that high because, the game kind of went away from us. Hi, Saka. Saka was excellent in the first half, but he should have scored. He should have scored that chance. It's sad because he then scores that next chance with his right foot that was fantastic. And, it was offside. Lacazette's foot was kind of, about half a yard offside. But he did play well. I would probably give Saka a 7. He was a constant threat. Great work rate. But he should have scored that volley. If he scores that volley, I'll probably give him an 8. But I give him a 7. He's just a brilliant player. He's a brilliant player. Charles Watts gave Xhaka man of the match. No, I don't agree with that at all. I'll give him a 7. As I said, if he scores that chance early on, I'm giving him an 8 or 9. But he missed a huge opportunity. But it was a fantastic performance from him. So I'll give him a 7 purely for the missed chance. But big up Saka. So consistent. Seems to play well every game, Bukayo Saka. And listen, he's got to keep that form. I'm enjoying it. Emile Smith-Rowe, I thought he had a quiet game yesterday. I'm going to be totally honest. I felt like he should have come off. He looked tired. One thing I'll give Smith-Rowe, he gives you great defensive work rate, but he didn't affect the game enough going forward. I thought he was quiet in the Man United game as well. And I was surprised he got 90 minutes, Smith-Rowe. Maybe needed a little rest. Defensively always helps out, shuts off the spacers. But in attack, I think he was ineffective. And ultimately, a number 10 is there to join the attack to the striker and create chances and be a goal threat. I'll give Smith-Rowe a 5. I thought he was quiet yesterday. I'm very surprised that he played 90 minutes. So I give Smith-Rowe a 5. I felt the manager should have taken him off. He played in false 9 second half. And, that for me was a bad decision. I would have taken him off. Nico Pepe, man. Jeez, what a performance from him. Again, another fantastic goal. One of the goals of the season. He deserved to be on the green screen, man. Pete, for me, in that first half, bear in mind that Nelson Semedo is a Portuguese international, is a former Barcelona right back. He literally tore him to shreds. Won the ball back, nutmegged him, put him on the floor, nutmegged the next guy. I think it was Ruben Neves. Bends it in the corner with his right foot. We should be talking about one of the best goals this season and giving him all the praise in the world. I'm gonna give him man of the match. I know he got taken off after 60 minutes. What a moment of magic. He won headers. He worked hard. He's on form. He's confident. He's ripping up fullbacks, right wing or left wing. He's doing the business. I thought he was better than, some people said they're Granit Xhaka man of the match or Thomas Partey. I think, again, it's hard for me to give anyone a really high rating because second half, it was so disjointed that we weren't able to attack and complete that performance and give them overall high ratings. I'm going to give him, he's probably around a 7 or an 8, but I'm going to give him an 8. I'm just going to try and be positive because he's dragged himself back up, Nicolas Pepe. We know that, after that Leeds game, A lot of fans had turned against him. He was racially abused. The manager kind of fed him to the wolves in the interview. Everyone was kind of writing him off and saying he's finished. And in these last few games, he stood up and been countered. I thought in the first 45, he was fantastic. He ripped Semedo apart, scored his goal, was a constant threat. I was surprised he got taken off after 60 minutes. But I'm going to give him an 8. Some of you saying 9, 8, 9 again. Papito, man. Pepe, 8 man of the match. I thought he was our best attacking player. Semedo hasn't been the same since Davis buried him. Pepe 7. Hey, big up my boy Turkish LDN. Go and subscribe to Turkish. Congratulations as well, bro. I hear you're a father now. You know, enjoy it. Sleepless nights to come, bro. But it's it's the biggest blessing in the world, man. So enjoy them night feeds, bro. And I'm sure that will occupy your mind away from Arsenal a little bit, because Arsenal is nothing but stress, man. So big up my guy Turkish, man. Big up. We need to get a show done, by the way, as well. We need to sort something out, bro. So everyone go and subscribe to Turkish. Where was I? Right. So we give Nicolas Pepe an 8. Lacazette. What do we give Lacazette? I thought he had a quiet first half, but he did work hard. It was unlucky that he was offside, man. That goal, we needed that second goal to kill the game off, man. And that volley from Saka, what a brilliant finish with his right foot. And that hurt us not getting that goal as well. I thought Lacazette worked hard without really doing anything spectacular. I'll probably say, what would you say for Lacazette? 5, 6. I thought he occupied their centre backs well. I'll give him a 6. He got taken off at half time. Willy Bolly and Connor Cody are big, strong centre backs, and I felt like he occupied them well. He really did. Big up School Fuggery in here, man. Legend. Appreciate the help and advice and stuff you've been giving lately, bro. Go and check out his channel. Amazing channel. Great entertainment during lockdown when everything's kind of serious. You need a bit of light-hearted entertainment. Make sure you go and subscribe to School Fuggery. He said, dropping in between meetings. Big up to Turkish London for the new arrival. 100%. And as I said, go and subscribe to Turkish. Go and subscribe to School Fuggery. Lacazette, I'm going to give Lacazette a 6. I think he did occupy the defend as well. Disappointing that he was offside for the goal, and but again, I don't think he should have been taken off at half time. I got to be honest. I think we needed an outlet. Turkish and me will definitely sort out a show. We'll speak after this, 100%. Big up Amo with a super chat. He said, losing only 2-1, playing with 10 men for 45 minutes. Then down to 9 men, only conceded to a penalty and a screamer. It speaks volumes on how hard we are to beat. I mean, we're improving in that sense. It's about finding that balance of defence and attack. As I said, you look at the Premier League table, we're still distinctly lower than a lot of other teams in the league when it comes to goals scored. So ultimately, it's great to have that defensive stability, but you need it on the other end of the pitch as well. You've got to have the goals. You've got to have the defence. When you look at the substitutions, Gabriel came on. He was solid for the second half. I'd probably give him a 6. Steady, did all right. We only conceded a long-range shot. Aubameyang came on, didn't really affect the game. Aubameyang, I thought bringing him on left wing. To me, when Aubameyang plays on the left, you've got to get him high up the pitch because he's not great at dribbling. He's more of a runner. I would have possibly put him up front and just put him on the last man and just said, let's see if we can get him behind once, or twice and use that pace. Again, people saying here, Curtis, does Aubameyang get straight back into the team with how Pepe is playing? For me, if Aubameyang's not up front, at this current moment, he's on the bench. It's as simple as that. You can't drop Saka or Pepe. You can't drop them. They both have to be in the team at the moment. Morale victory is still a loss. Listen, and this is what I'm saying, right? And of course, Renarson came on. I'll probably give him a 6 as well. Aubameyang, I'd probably give a 5. I actually think he was quiet. What I want to say, we can. It's good to be positive and clutch at positives, right? Which a lot of Arsenal fans are doing at the moment. Defensively, we're better. We've had an unbeaten run. There has been an element of progress. Arteta does seem to be figuring certain things out. But ultimately, we are still 10th in the league. Teams have got games in hand on us. We could end up as low as 12th. And we are still struggling to make up ground in the Premier League table. And, we need a long run of form to get anywhere near that top four. To be honest, I don't think top four is going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. I think we're a long way off. To me, our only hope this season is winning that Europa League. Somehow, some way, we've got to win that trophy. I remember, was it Man United, I think, when Mourinho went there that first season, they ended up giving up on top four. He could see it wasn't going to happen. And they put all their eggs in that Europa League basket and they won it. And that's what we need to do somehow. We need to win it. My one disappointment, just one, and people know I've been on Mikel Arteta's back. I'm not really blaming him at all for last night. But the one thing I will say, I didn't like the substitutions that he made last night. I felt like, of course, Gabriel was going to come on. But why take off Lacazette when you're down to 10 men? You need a striker. You need a focal point. Someone you can get the ball to who will hold up the ball and help others to join in. I felt playing Smith Rowe as a false nine, we were never going to get up the pitch. I didn't understand that whatsoever. Even if you went Aubameyang up front and said, look, just stay on the last man. We'll try and get one or two passes where you get an opportunity to run their defenders. But bringing Lacazette off and putting Smith Rowe as a false nine, I think that... I think the Smith Rowe, Kevin De Bruyne shout has gone to his head a little bit. I've seen Kevin De Bruyne playing false nine for Manchester City. Maybe Mikel Arteta felt like he could play false nine for Arsenal. Darren said Lacazette hasn't got the legs. Should have went with Aubameyang. Listen, a front three of Lacazette, or all right, even if you take Lacazette off for Aubameyang, we could have gone Aubameyang, Pepe, Saka. That's lots of pace, lots of energy on the counter-attack. Wolves only had a two-man midfield of Neves and João Moutinho. I think Xhaka and Thomas Partey could have dealt with those two without the number 10 being there. So I didn't understand that. The second one that baffles me, why are you taking Nicolas Pepe off? Why are you taking him off? He's one of our best attacking players on the pitch. He's finding form, and you take him off after 60 minutes. Why not take off Smith Rowe again? Or if you took Smith Rowe off, we could have then took Lacazette off. Take Lacazette and Smith Rowe off and bring on Gabriel and Aubameyang. I didn't understand it. I don't see how with 10 men you're supposed to score a goal with no striker on the pitch. How are you going to get up the pitch? Pepe for me is a massive plus. The form he's hit in the last few weeks, I think a lot of Arsenal fans felt that he was finished at Arsenal and that in the summer he would be moved on. If he continues with this level of consistency, he's not going to play like that every week. But if he continues on that sort of form, all of a sudden, we found ourselves a top player again. I was saying last night, maybe Arsenal have paid another £20 million of his installments and he's upgraded again. They say he gets better every time we pay an installment. So maybe there's one more to go. But now Pepe, man, he deserves to be on the green screen. He's absolutely balling at the moment, Nicolas Pepe. 2 nutmegs. And a great finish. It's a shame because today we should be talking about one of the best goals this season, Nicolas Pepe. I can't think of much more individual brilliance than that goal from Nicolas Pepe last night. Wins the ball back, nutmegs Semedo, nutmegs Neves, bends it in the corner with his right foot. An absolutely fantastic goal, Nicolas Pepe. And he's really, really hitting form. Mark my words, Aubameyang starts over Pepe on Saturday. For me, people, what are your thoughts on the weekend in terms of Aubameyang? Does Aubameyang come back into that team for you against Aston Villa? And if so, where does he come back in? Because to me, Pepe and Saka have to play out wide. Aubameyang, for me, you can only play him up front ahead of Lacazette. Otherwise, he's got to sit on the bench, in my opinion. Would you give Pepe a new contract? I mean, I believe Pepe's got 3 years left on his deal. So I don't think you really need to give him a new contract yet. Aubameyang replaced with Lacazette. Yeah, possibly. I wouldn't mind maybe Aubameyang playing through the middle and going with the pace, Tyrone Mings and that. But he just looks a bit out of sorts. I know he's got a lot on his mind. I know his mum's been unwell and stuff like that. It's going to take him a while to find himself again. Man says, be real, Curtis. You can't really call them nutmegs. Man got all the luck in the world to get away with them two. Listen, ask any Liverpool fan. How many times did Luis Suarez nutmeg defenders where the ball hits the inside of the defender's leg and falls to him? And nutmeg's a nutmeg, bro. They weren't clean, but they done the job. It doesn't matter. And it's not an accident. We've seen Pepe nutmeg a lot of players in his Arsenal time. I remember his home debut against Burnley, man, took that soul away of Ben Mee, you know. School Fuggery said the commentators on the stream I was on there doing their best to play down how much of a bang up Pepe's goal was, focused on Wolves' weak defending instead. Anyone else notice that? See, I have to mute the game on the watch along, so I never heard that. And on the highlights, I watched it on Arsenal's YouTube. So it doesn't surprise me, you know. It doesn't surprise me that some of these BT Sports pundits, man, and even some of the Sky pundits, you know, that they don't give Arsenal no credit. You know, it's always a defensive mistake or, you know, someone else's fault. It's crazy, man. Do you want to give Lacazette 3-year contract if consistent till the end of the season? I don't, you know. I've got to be honest. At the very most with Lacazette, I would give him a 1-year extension. You know, he's got a year left in the summer. At the very most, I would add another year to that contract. I would not give him a 3-year contract. I think Lacazette's been at the club for a number of years. We brought him in to score goals. And I don't think Lacazette has hit the numbers that we expected. I believe 14 Premier League goals is Lacazette's best season in an Arsenal shirt. 14 the first season, 13 the second, and 10 the third season. You know, I don't think that warrants Lacazette getting a new contract. I do like Lacazette. I think he's a good footballer. He links play very well, but 3-year contract for Lacazette, who turns 30 in June, not for me. 1-year contract extension would be the very most. Over 700 of you in here in the chat at the moment. Make sure you hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. And I appreciate all your support. Big up Franny Green, Forever Football with Franny Green. Go and subscribe to his channel. 30 to 35 million, get rid. I mean, do you think we would get 30 to 35 million for Lacazette? I think more like maybe 20 to 25 million, if I'm honest. But you know, with the pandemic and stuff, we should get a more prolific striker. Would you take Odsonne Edouard from Celtic? You know, he scores. He seems to score goals. Of course, Memphis Depay is out of contract in the summer. I know he's not the most prolific of strikers. But he's younger than Lacazette, would have a point to prove after kind of failing Manchester United on a free. Would you take Memphis Depay? Would you take Danny Ings? Scored goals the last 2 or 3 years at Southampton, Premier League proven. Would you take him? Those are 3 names I would put out there. Would you take Odsonne Edouard, Memphis Depay, or Danny Ings? Or are there any other strikers that you can think of that you would like Arsenal to go for to replace Lacazette? Chuck them in the comments. Maxwell, bless up my General Curtis. Respect, bro. Hope you're well. Said you would take Memphis Depay. El Nasser at Seville. Who do you think will finish top 4? I think obviously Man United, Liverpool, Man City will be the top 3. That 4th spot is completely up in the air at the moment. I mean, you would probably think Leicester, Chelsea or Tottenham, probably one of those 3. I can't see Arsenal getting it, if I'm being totally honest. I'd love Memphis, but we don't need a striker. We have Aubameyang and Balogun. I mean, there are rumours that Balogun could be leaving. So, you know, I wouldn't pin your hopes on Balogun. Man said Giroud. I don't think Giroud will ever come back to Arsenal. Ings 30 will demand a huge wage. Is he nearly 30, Danny Ings? I honestly didn't know that. I knew he was in his late 20s. I didn't actually know that that he was 30. Let's see. Is he definitely 30, Danny Ings? He's 28. He turns 29 in July. So, yeah, he is close to 30. I will take Edouard because of his age. I think with Edouard, because Celtic are having a difficult season, he could be gettable for cheaper, you know. Patson Dakar, a lot of people have said him. Seems a live wire and quick. I think he's in the Austrian league, I believe. Sports Genius, Curtis, a 15 to 18 goal striker is 40 million. Jimenez from Wolves was bought for 40. Memphis is a free this summer. I do like Memphis Depay. I think the problem is he's not a goal scorer as such. He's more of a link player. Do we need that kind of player? Anthony said City first, Liverpool second, United third, Leicester fourth. Be interesting whether Leicester can hang on to that fourth. I do think City will probably win the league, if I'm being honest. If they get Sergio Aguero scoring goals as well, and then I think they will get it. Hakimi and Sel Bellerin, I'll take that all day long. That'll be a massive upgrade. Ings looks like he's 38. Edward will come to Leicester. Yeah, I've heard Brendan Rodgers. Obviously, Brendan managed him at Celtic. But then with Jamie Vardy there, is he going to get in the team, or will he change formation? Depay is a winger forward. Yeah, as I said, not an out-and-out goal scorer. I'm just thinking on a free transfer, wouldn't be a bad signing. Patrick Bamford, I mean, I know he's scoring goals. I'm still not the biggest fan of Patrick Bamford. Yeah, said, hi, Curtis. We should have got an Ozan Kabak, quick and aggressive defender, very cheap option. And two of our players went there this window, but he ended up going to Liverpool, more value than Upamecano. I mean, let's see how well he does in the Prem. It's a good point. We've sent two players to Schalke, so, we could have probably, made the move. But I'm sure his agents would have been told that Liverpool were lurking in the background. He's not going to come to Arsenal over Liverpool. Big up Omar says, big up Curtis, hope you're well. Kenneth said, I'm not watching the next few matches. First game I sat down to watch intensely for a while, and it was just heartbreak. Arsenal is stressful, bruv. Daniel said, sign Curtis Shaw up top for Arsenal. Bit overrated, but looks like he could do a job for a couple of seasons while we wait for Balogun to develop. Listen, I'll do more than Eddie, bruv. I'll do more than Eddie. What do you think of Leno? Leno's been great this season, but last night was inexcusable. That was absolutely shocking. Leicester fan said Curtis' expectation is still top 6 yet. Haaland's got a 60 million release clause in the summer. I just think bigger clubs than Arsenal, or not necessarily bigger, but teams that are far better than us on the pitch at the moment will be going for him. I saw his dad saying he'd like Haaland to play for Pep Guardiola. With Aguero maybe coming to the end of his time at City, I don't see Arsenal being able to get Haaland, if I'm honest. It's a deadly defeat for the manager who exposed us with silliness in the keeper department. 9 defeats. I'm not watching for a bit. Sick of the sight of underperformance. I mean, my point to Mikel Arteta, I'm not blaming Mikel Arteta for last night. Although, as I said, I do think the substitutions were questionable. I think the players cost us the game last night, as well as VAR. But this season has been a disaster. It's been an absolute disaster. For me, the worst season I've ever watched as an Arsenal fan. 9 defeats out of 22 games. And out of both domestic trophies by the start of February, or even by the end of January, we was out. It's been a horrible season. And I think, listen, if the club are going to stick with Mikel Arteta, what I think they're going to, they need to back this guy sufficiently in the summer, because he's struggling with this team. He is seriously struggling with his team. I don't think he can get too much out of them to get us higher up the table. Maybe we can finish this season 7th, 8th. I still don't view that as any major success for Arsenal Football Club. We should be challenging for the top 4, especially in a season like this, where the league is so open for clubs to get a little run together. You've got teams like West Ham. West Ham fans couldn't stand David Moyes. They didn't spend big in the market. They haven't got an out-and-out striker as good as what we've got. And they're above us in the table, Emery got 5th and Europa League final. Standard. Do we have the same standards for Arteta? I mean, listen, this is the thing, isn't it? I think the problem is that Emery lost the dressing room. I think Arteta probably still has a lot of players in there that like him, and I think the board like him, and I also think that the board know that Mikel Arteta, again, to sack Arteta 6 million a year, sack all his staff, go and get another manager. The turnaround is too much. They're not going to do it twice in a couple of years. Chelsea would do it because Abramovich wants success at all costs. But Arsenal are not like that. Arteta's lost the fans. I mean, don't get me wrong. A lot of fans are still capping for him, A lot of fans still love him. I think Mikel Arteta is very lucky that fans are not in the stadium, because I think in November his job would have seriously been on the line. Anthony said, fully agree. Can anyone remember the last time we lost 9 games by early February and gone out of both cups? I see us finishing 9th to 13th. Peak times, yet we are supposed to trust the process. There you go, man. General King said, sack Arteta is the only solution. I mean, I don't think the club are going to do that, man. Curtis, how long have you been an Arsenal fan? Since a kid, bro. Ian Wright was probably, since Wrighty days, that he was probably the player that made me really want to support Arsenal, to be honest. Anelka, Omri as well. VAR is not the problem. It's the eyes behind the screen, subconscious decisions, and no playing experience. And like I said earlier, they don't want to make their friend look bad, because it's a referee making another referee look like he's made a mistake. So I think sometimes they go, it's a close one, but just leave it as it is. We don't want to make the guy look bad in the middle of the pitch. It's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. They need to have a serious look at that. Curtis, when his talk is cheap, I believe it could be out this evening around 7 p.m. If not, it'll be 7 a.m. But I'm told it should be tonight. Arsenal are a banter club. Listen, we make silly mistakes. You know, to end. When was the last time you seen a team? Well, funnily enough, Southampton did it straight after. But you don't often see teams go down to 9 men. You know, it just doesn't happen. Kaz said Sky Sports have already decided on Williams' red cards saga. No need to appeal. I mean, apparently Arsenal are going to appeal, I heard. Big up Tipper Irie. Go and check out his channel as well. Big up Tipper said Bellerin is not good enough. We were on top until the 2 incidents yesterday. We go again. I mean, listen, we need to. Can we beat Aston Villa? Daniel, I have to put it, man. Top 4 hopes. You know, whether I believe it and certain fans believe it, it was still there, man. Some fans will tell you it's still there now. I don't think it is, but as a football club, you have to keep playing until it's mathematically impossible. Looking at the league table, we are 8 points behind Leicester. Leicester have got a game in hand, so it could be 11. But obviously, like I said, Villa, Everton, those teams have got 3 games in hand on us. So it could be more like 12, 13 points off top 4. So I don't see it happening. And as I said earlier in the stream, people, I think we have to really, obviously, try and win your Premier League games, do the best you can. But for me, it's Europa League or bust now. I think if we don't win the Europa League, the season disappears from us. So that Benfica game is huge. Or games, should I say. Apparently, we could be playing Benfica in neutral grounds now. The games apparently can't be played in Portugal. They've got a big COVID issue over there at the moment. Rowan said, hey, Big C, apart from watching football, hope you're doing great. Bro, I'm good, man. Arsenal just add stress to us, don't they? You know, you come off Arsenal, losing to Wolves, getting 2 men sent off, and then I turn on Manchester United beating Southampton 9-0, and I'm like, yo, man, I think I better turn my phone off. You know what I'm saying? I got my new fans sending me pictures with you've got 9 players, they've got 9 goals, and all kind of madness. Big up John with a super chat. Thank you very much. He said, after the game, they should show the incident to the ref like they did in the old days and question him. See, the problem is, I heard people saying yesterday that referees should be interviewed and stuff like that. Listen, this is a social media world now. You can't do that. Can you imagine how much abuse a referee would get on social media or whatever if he was being interviewed after the game? So, listen, I get it, and you would like to see referees held accountable. But as I said, the referee makes the mistake, but VAR can correct that mistake. So although everyone's going after Craig Pawson, which I get, my bigger issue is with VAR. That is what my bigger issue is. He can send him off all he likes. VAR can say to him, that's not a red. You know, he hasn't made no attempt. Downgrade it to a yellow. So my bigger issue is with VAR than the referee. So yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at with it, to be honest. Let's look at the bigger problem. Curtis, I'm Portuguese, and no one here is talking about playing that UEFA Europa League game on neutral ground. Thank you for your message, João Pereira. Why is that being said over here? That's like headline news. Arsenal's game set to be played on a neutral venue, and they can't fly into Portugal and all this kind of... I don't know, but thank you for your insight. So over there, they're saying they don't expect it to be played neutral. That's interesting. I mean, there was even reports yesterday saying that the game may be played over one leg. Like, it's crazy. But let's hope we get that over two legs, because one leg's it's dodgy, innit? Arsenal can have a bad performance and get knocked out. Yesterday, VAR only took 3 seconds to check it. I'm not surprised. Anyone who wants Arteta out is stupid. I stand on that. Listen, I don't believe that Mikel Arteta has proved as of yet that he is doing a good enough job, right? This is my opinion of Mikel Arteta. Usually Arsenal would have lost. I'd be doing an Arteta out show. I'm not saying that. I'm looking at it a little bit more long-term now and saying, look, they're going to stick with him. They did a decent clear out in January. He is improving slowly. Let's see where it takes us. I'm trying to be more positive about it. What I will say, I'm not going to pretend, though, that 10th in the Premier League and out of both domestic cups by the end of January is acceptable. I'm not going to dress that up and tell you that I accept that. For a club of Arsenal Football Club, that is not good enough. That is not good enough. We can't say that we're happy with that, right? I think Arteta is becoming a better manager, and I do think he is learning on the job. And I hope that if the club back him sufficiently in the summer, that we can, become something, very decent next season. But I still don't give a manager the opportunity to throw a season away. Last season, the FA Cup rescued a very poor season. We finished 8th. We lost to Olympiacos in the Europa League last 32. That was not good enough. So this season, I was looking for do the business this season. Now, we know the transfer market was not as good as we needed. We probably needed another 2 players to come in, to really have a chance. But he still, for me, should have us in and around that top 4, top 6 situation with the games and that we've lost this season. So, am I Arteta out and in? I'm kind of in the middle. He's there. I'm gonna give him his chance. I'm not fully convinced by him, and I'm not gonna lie and say I am fully convinced by him, because 10th in the league is for me shocking for Arsenal, right? But I'm giving him the opportunity to see what he's about. I'm kind of judging him on a game-by-game basis at the moment, because I'm so frustrated with the way this season has gone. And I still stick by the fact that he's very lucky to still be in the job. I think a lot of other managers at other clubs would have been sacked in November during that terrible run. I think Arsenal fans need to be a little bit more subjective. When people say Arteta in, no one really criticise it. When people say Arteta out, you get ridiculed. They are both opinions, so there should be the same energy for both. And I agree with that. I'm not even here saying Arteta in or out. I'm saying I think you've got a right to both arguments. On one hand, you can say 10th in the league out of both cups, maybe won't win the Europa League. That's not acceptable. On the other hand, you can say he's had a lot of dead wood. He wasn't back sufficiently in the summer. He's a manager that's never managed. He's going to need more than a year to become that manager. So I think the reality is he will be judged harshly next season, is when the football club will really say, listen, you have to do it this year or your job is on the line. I think he will be afforded that time that this season was still transition, getting players out of the door and building your own team. But I still want to see something achieved this season. Whether it's a transition and next season is the season, I still need to see progression this season. I'm starting to see better football. I'm starting to see better defensively. But I want to see a serious challenge for that Europa League. I want us to really go and try and win that competition properly. I want to see Arsenal in the quarterfinal, semi-final. We can't just go and lose to Benfica and go crumbling out like we did last season against Olympiacos. There you go, people. There's the end of my speech. Big up my boy, Deluda Guna. Make sure you go and subscribe to his channel. Quality content on there as well. And as he said, hey, we've come a long way from 100 crosses. I won't forget them days, man. Tottenham away, putting in, 27 crosses in one half, just trying to, get Aubameyang to head the ball in. We've definitely improved. I'm starting to see patterns of play, and it's a shame. It's a real shame because I think yesterday we were going to deal with Wolves. I think Wolves were there, and I actually felt like at 1-0, I've got to be honest, I felt like we were going to score 2 or 3 goals in that game. And I think we were going to deal with them quite dirty as well. I thought Wolves were going to get beat up once we got the second goal, but unfortunately, it didn't happen. So listen, we are where we are. We're improving, but we're still not good enough. I think that's where we are with it. But let's see. Listen, I'll be back tomorrow, people. 2 p.m. Deluded, let's get this sorted, bruv. We need to get this stream sorted. I'm gonna message you after. As I said, everyone go and subscribe to Deluded. And I'll be back at 2 p.m. tomorrow. I'll also be back tomorrow evening, 8 p.m. Spurs v Chelsea, watch along. At least I can watch that game with no stress. I actually realised since streaming other top 6 clubs how stressful, doing watch-alongs of Arsenal is, man. Seriously, it's difficult. You don't realize how hard it is for content creators and such to do these watch-alongs because, boy, Arsenal are stressful. Enjoy the rest of your day, people. Hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. I'll be back 2 p.m. tomorrow and 7:30 tomorrow for Spurs Chelsea. Take care, everyone. Bless.